Here's a man who grew up in a middle-class suburb of Springfield, Massachusetts, was an average C student, made his way through college selling cookware, was such a poor typist during his Army service that he paid another private to do his work so he could sell his cookware. But there's also the same man who has provided jobs for thousands of people, created a values-driven multi-million-dollar company, has shaken hands with generals, newsmakers, politicians, and presidents, has impacted the lives of countless college, high school, and disadvantaged students, has invested his time, energy, and personal resources in nonprofits around the world. And here is a man that I am proud to call my lifelong and dearest friend. I've known Ed for over 65 years, having grown up with him in Springfield, Massachusetts. And in fact, 13 of his friends are here tonight who've known Ed all those 65 years and who consider Ed also their dearest friend. I got a call from Jerry Sachs that he had a picture of a Hanukkah party going back to 1946 with Ed in it, Jerry in it, Ed Mailman in it, Ed Stein in it. And you got to admit, he looks kind of feminine, Ed, in the picture. I mean, you know, he's a macho guy today, but in that picture, he looks kind of feminine. In his senior year, Ed's entrepreneurial aptitude did take effect because he was selling and going door to door selling pots and pans for girls for their hope chests.
After the war, he had a vision of people returning. He had a vision of the suburbs growing. There are going to be a lot of marriages. People are going to need to start up their families. They're going to need all of these housewares and so forth. And that was his first business venture. So he was displaying this penchant for entrepreneurship before we probably developed the word and understood what that was.
Once he graduated from school, he moved to Philadelphia. I believe he was going to go into the insurance business. He continued selling cookware in China to support himself, and found out he was having more fun and more success doing that. So he started his own company. He started out with a desk and an orange crate, and he continued from there to develop the largest cookware college program in the country.
And he was persuaded that his tremendous knowledge of training people, developing people, and his tremendous ability to sell would transition really well into an information company. And that's when he moved to the diversified information provider that was Progressive Business Publications.
20 years ago when we started in publishing, this company almost did not make it. And I think that left a very lasting impression on Ed that quality counts. From the first day I got here, Ed made it very clear that we are a focused, value-driven company.
One of our core values is giving back. 13 years ago, Ed heard General Colin Powell speak, his America's Promise, and he pledged that PBP would adopt an inner-city school. Today, 13 years later, we have 46 members of our company from all different divisions who serve as mentors. We do field trips, we do a before and after school program, so many things that help the school thrive. Wonderful piece of the story is that 4 years ago, Ed invited General Powell when he was speaking here in Philadelphia to come to the school. There were a group of parents and a group of the mentors and a group of the students, and General Powell sat down and listened to their stories. They told him how our company and Ed's conviction had impacted their lives. The students will never forget that day, and it fit with Ed's understanding that you need to inspire youth.
In the Boy Scouts of America, there's a saying, we believe that character counts. And character is not something that can be learned or purchased or acquired. You are born with it. Ed was born with a sense of character.
Well, I think it's obvious from the experience that he had with his boys that the basic values, the basic model that Scouting brings to the table is one that he feels young people should have and should carry forward. Ed is very quick to acknowledge that we reach out to urban young people and try to provide, wherever we can, the models, the disciplines, the leadership, so that kids who don't have the opportunity to grow with a good package of strengths can learn them.
Everybody has a shot, but success is elusive if you're not part of the system, if you don't know what's going on, if you're not engaged, if you're not connecting dots.
He understands that they have a need to get the skills, to get the strategies, to get the advantages of people caring about them so they can make it in life. He knows that for leadership, for life success, you have to really appreciate curiosity. You have to have that curiosity cultivated.
He himself is a very curious person. I think his intellectual curiosity is fabulous.
Ed Satell is a very proud trustee of the Walnut Street Theatre. He was fascinated by the artistic process and immediately wanted to know all the details, all the mechanics of the business side of the theatre, and he also became intrigued by the artistic side. He got to know and befriended the actors, and he was really the first trustee to ever invite the artists into his home. Ed, for me, is someone who understands humanity.
He's thinking about it from the perspective of how to improve the performance of the organization, how it can achieve its objectives and its mission, and then structures it in such a way that he can lend his expertise to help it. And that means advice, counsel, helping with the implementation, and just thinking about how that process is going to unfold and how it will be successful.